How is everybody? Wake up, everybody. Yes, indeed. I would say Teddy P was like one of my favorite voices. Love his voice. Was that him? I think so. There's no sleep. Wasn't that him? In the group that he was with. How y'all doing? I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of Afro economics. And today's topic is why our 20s matter so much. Yeah, talking about 20 years old, people in their 20s. Why our 20s matter to us today. Those who are older, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to give as much as we can to this discussion. Why, right? How you doing, Eric Stanley? You know why the 20s matter? Why do you think so? Like right there, there's a link. I wanted the members of Afro Economics to give back generously to these generations behind us on why the 20s matter. Now, I'm living proof that our 20s matter because I started JB Bryan Financial Group, one of the first 100% Black owned registered investment advisory firms on the planet in my 20s. So I know how important the 20s are. And here I am 30 years later, 30 years later. And I remember people saying to me, the business wouldn't work, that won't work, because they didn't know how important the 20s are. They didn't know that by me maximizing my 20s, that 30 years later, I'd still, thank God, by the grace of God, be a healthy person that could stand up here and say and encourage those who are in their 20s to do the right thing. That living in your 20s is so vitally important. I put the link up for you to come in on the studio and give back. Click like. Please share. Yes, indeed, Ms. Vaughn. Please share this link as we go through this discussion. Mr. Stanley, tell me why you think the 20s are so important. Ms. Vaughn, tell me why you think the 20s are very important. I feel that our Black community, and the name of my book is Our Black Wealth Matters. And the first principle of Afro economics is about legacy, about the footprint that we want to leave on this planet. How committed are you to this next generation? How committed are you to making this world a better place for those that are in their 20s? Now, I over the weekend I was traveling because I had a track meet, and the the manager for the hotel was, and it was a Marriott hotel, and I'm one of those who, like, I'm in that Marriott club, so accumulating the points. Amen. Arctic for one. Time is on your side, and the manager was a young Black person, most likely in her 20s, and my toilet didn't work. The sink was filling up, and it was a horrible experience. And I wanted to focus on my track meet. It was bad. And they said there's no plumber coming in till Monday. So when I was leaving, the manager got mad at me for telling her the truth. And I had told them several times, like, she just wasn't there until I was checking out, and she that about what happened. And then, I said, okay, well, bye. I was talking to her on the phone, and she just hung up on me. And I think about that, like when you're in your 20s and you're not thinking about the seeds that you're sowing, right, Ms. Vaughn? Like she did not think, like I cannot imagine doing something like that to a customer that's paying my bills today. Definitely not in my 20s. Like, where did she think that her life doesn't matter? I think a key thing for you to grab out of this discussion is that in your 20s, we have to establish that we matter. You matter. You matter. If you could tell your children anything else, if you could tell someone that you know that's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we matter. At every point in your life, when you're rude to someone, you matter. I don't think people would be so rude if they realized that they were in a position of power. Just your hello, your hi, here you are. They've designated you the person that I have to talk to about the toilet in the hotel. And instead of seeing yourself as significant or that you matter, that you can make a difference to the hotel, you can, even if you don't care about the customer, you work somewhere and they pay you and you can make a difference to the reputation of that hotel because now I'm telling you how horrible that Marriott experience was. I never have been to a Marriott that was that bad until recently. And then the one before that, in another track meet, and the manager was not Black American, but he was Black, and that he was too also rude. I think that God has plans for us. Like God has plans for us, big plans for us. Like, and at every point in my life, I really have always thought that what I do, what I say, how I serve you, how I speak to you, how I treat you, that you matter. Like I put on the book, our Black wealth matters. Over and over they keep talking about why we need to have undocumented people here because there's definitely no one here that needs that's actually a real documented citizen that needs a job, which is such and so untrue. But I feel that in many ways what they're saying is that the people that are here don't want to work. And what they're talking about is our college graduates, our recent college graduates, our people in our 20s. No, that our people don't want to work. So we have to have people from somewhere else to work because it's obvious they're being so mean to you that they don't want to do it. And that thought frightens me because all I can remember doing and being is a young person that needed a job to survive, that needed to put in that hard work. I worked 3 jobs through undergraduate, worked full time going to graduate school. I cannot imagine not trying to do my best at any point in my life, even today. I don't know what to do to help us change the way that we're presented to the world so that a young person will feel responsible for their every word, their every action, that they matter, that they matter. I think there's just a lot of what is presented is that we're not told that we matter. And when I think about this, even this, the 20s mattering, I feel like it really relates to the WNBA. And the WNBA, like they wore the other night at the game, basically pay me my money. What did it say? Pay us what you owe us. Now, most of them I don't know, Mr. Barton might be able to confirm. Would you say, Mr. Barton, that most of the WNBA players are in their 20s?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
And they said, pay us what you owe us. I can't imagine saying that to the person who took the chance on me. The person that has to pay you, even if you have to sit the bench because your ankle got hurt, he still has to cover you. So they're being short-sighted, in my opinion, as a female athlete. I feel that they're being short-sighted on all of the possibilities that the WNBA has to present to them. Like to go out and to take the approach of, I'm going to embarrass them. I'm going to make them feel bad. I'm going to make, instead of negotiating the fact that you all have carried losses for 29 years. So there's been a WNBA as long as there's been my firm, almost. They're not even as old as my firm. Like, but they've been struggling. We used to have a women's basketball team in Richmond. Remember that, Mr. Barton, in Virginia? They had a women's team.
Yeah.
It went down, it went under.
Right.
Great players, but it went under because they still had to cover. They still had to pay. They paid them. Like there's a track athlete. She's a gold medalist and everything. And Magic and Michael Johnson owes her money, like $1 million. Like she owes her big time. Sydney, like he owes her money. He said, I just don't have it. The WNBA has never not paid those girls. The men's basketball team covers them even when nobody was coming and watching.
Right.
They were covering their losses. I don't even know from a business perspective why they think that that was important. Like why would you carry a loss like this when you got male players who you should be paying more? Because they're risking their life. Female players, you're risking your life. It's a risky sport, but it's not making any money. It's not making as much. So when they pay you, on average, they're making near $100,000 for the season. The bulk of their money, just like with the men, comes from the opportunity to be on that court, to get fans, and then get endorsements. Correct, Mr. Barton? LeBron's pay, his bulk of his money comes from endorsements. Michael Jordan is a billionaire from his endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
But what were they doing in their teens and their 20s? They weren't going around wearing shirts talking about pay me what you owe me.
No.
They made a deal. You signed for it. You accepted it.
Right.
And you weren't going out and humiliating the owner. I think that is important that in our 20s that we once again, I reiterate, we have to realize that people are investing in you. You don't have that much to bring to the table. I don't care if you play basketball or if you're in information systems. You're new to the game. You just got out here. So they are making investment in you. And I think that the female basketball team, yeah, you have some more people coming. But if you're putting all this bet on Caitlin Clark, who is now injured, not having the best of season, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. So you think that they're going to like say, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to double everybody's salary because we're very horrible that we've been covering you for 29 years. And to make them feel bad for covering the league at a loss for 29 years, you have 1 year you feel like you're doing better and that they're robbing you. It's kind of like someone was telling me about someone was telling me that this parent got a life insurance policy on a child, and the child said the cash value of the life insurance should be paid to them. And I told the client, I said, that parent does not owe that child the cash value because the parent was paying the premium on that.
That's right.
So the parent is going into debt or buying a car or paying for education and doing all these things on this child, like, and they decide they're going to get a life insurance policy because they have these debts that they did for this child. That if something happens to that child, children unfortunately do pass away. But the owner of that insurance policy is the parent if they decided to be the owner. But while we're in our 20s, I think that it's important that we set aside that bitterness. Like one thing that we can really learn in our 20s, and this may be being ultra hardworking, because I am, is stop the bitterness. Nobody owes you anything. Your parents don't owe you anything. And if your parents decide that they owe you something, that's up to them. They can be as miserable as they want to be, thinking that they owe you. They don't owe you. Like, but their parents, nobody owes you anything. Everything that we get going in, you know what I mean, is because we have to earn it. We are gifted the love from our parents, but there's a whole bunch of kids whose parents did not raise them, did not love. So at the same time, we should be thankful for our parents for what they did do. Oh, they didn't do enough. No, they didn't. But it's no excuse.
Right.
Now we're grown. You're just as equal to me. I'm going to give you mad respect. I'm going to give you mad respect as a human being. But everything you do is you're now responsible for. I don't know if you've seen that young man, that it's become this huge discussion about the police did him wrong because they pulled him over because he didn't have his windshield wipers on. Have you seen that? And
No.
it's like this big story. It started in February. So now he look, he was on suspended license. He had a knife in the car, and he had marijuana in the car in a state that it wasn't legal, or
Oh,
whatever. I don't even
right.
know if in legal states you can carry it around in the car. I don't know. It depends on how much, I guess. I don't know. He was out of line. That happened in February. The police are like, please roll down the window, roll down the window, roll down the window, roll down the window. You got to roll down. He said, oh, my window don't work. So you can get a ticket for that. If your driver's side window does not roll down, that's out of compliance. You can't pass an inspection like that. You're not supposed to drive down the street with your driver's side window not being able to roll down. We have to, at some point, start being responsible for ourselves so that we can become the entrepreneur, the super dynamic, the super responsible man that you deserve, and woman that we deserve to be. But we live in a society that decides they're not going to show the whole story, that you done sat there in that car, got 6, 7 police outside the car because they don't know what you going on now because you won't get out the car. They just going to start the news story with the window being bashed out. But do you know how long it went on before that window got bashed out? Do you know how long you get to mess up before they fire you from your job? Do you know how many tests you get to fail before you fail a class? How many days you don't have to show up? You know what I'm saying? Like that, if we can catch on to this in the 20s, that I am the only person, that is the best thing that my parents did for me, was force me to be independent. It was like, that's it. My dream didn't cost anybody else anything. Some people get mad because their parents don't invest in their business. Parents won't help them start it. I got this good idea and they won't help me, blah, 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 blah. Like, that is not appropriate behavior. It's your dream. It is your dream. Nobody who is given anything gets as far as the person that builds it on their own. I'm telling you. Would you agree, Mr. Barton? I mean, literally,
Mm-hmm.
literally, you've got to do it your self, right? We got to do it ourselves, Mr. Stanley. We have to do it ourselves. If you want to have the muscle, you have to lift the weight,
That's true.
right? You've got to do it. You want to be able to breathe, you're going to have to go out there and get your cardio up. You got to get up there, get up like a machine and be about the good stuff, about the good stuff. Like you got to be about. I started feeling like I want to make money around 14, 15 years old, if not earlier. I'm like, I want my own. I don't want to have to ask anybody for anything.
Hmm.
It's you don't, but it is in the 20s and before that your brain adapts to that type of behavior. You could say number one on the checklist is that we have to start brain development. There is something wrong with a brain development if you feel as a black man or woman in the United States of America that we should sit there and get the police mad at us. I'm not doing it. If they come up to my car, and I'm a grown black woman, if they come up to my car and they go, "What are you doing? Your light, you see your lights aren't on." I'm sorry, sir. So and so and so. I was wrong. I know my window should be fixed. I know it will not pass inspection without a driver's side window going down. I am wrong. Speeding ticket, light ticket, whatever. They have a hard job. Your boss has a hard job. The business owner has a hard job. Like WNBA, they have no idea that these people are risking everything they have in order to help care of this dream. All we feel is that a billionaire is a billionaire, but you don't realize how much they sacrifice. We don't remember that Jeff Bezos started Amazon in a garage. You don't remember how small my office was when I started out with my little fax machine and the dial up doing stock trades through a phone line. Y'all don't remember that 30 years ago. So when somebody wants to say, well, she got da da da, she was so and so and so, he's so and so and so. Your 20s, he did it in his 20s. I did that in my 20s. We got to take our 20s seriously. Yes. And you don't know what to do with it. But when you're starting something and you're building a business, you're already doing the right thing with it because you're putting it into your business. But if you're in your 20s and you're getting drunk on Friday nights, you're already doing the wrong thing with your money. You got to look at it that you're doing and you're paying for a whole round of liquor. You spent $200, but did you put anything in that 401k at that job? Oh, I don't have no money for that. Yes, you have money. Or when you go to Dubai and you're 22 years old, I didn't go on vacation in my 20s. I don't know what that is.
It's true.
Now you got people in their 20s buying Benz, getting big mortgages, doing all this stuff so you don't think that you can feel the pain. And then all of a sudden, if you lose a job, you're like, how dare they lose? No, you need to be doing interviews day after day, day after day, day after day. If you go into debt, you got to pay it back. You have to be like me, that doing anything like foreclosure and bankruptcy is not a freaking option. I don't care how many commercials they run. I don't care how cute the commercial is. I don't care how you feel like you're getting rid of it. It's a mentality that it is tearing you up. Some day one, you start, well, I don't have to pay that back because they said that I could just so and so. And if I don't pay the bill for 5 months, you're destroying your chances of even getting your next job because the jobs are checking your credit.
That's right.
You know that everything is checking your credit now. Your insurance, your car insurance checks your credit. Life insurance checks your credit. So all of these things are, in fact, did you get bad credit, then it affects your health.
Mm-hmm.
People with bad credit are more likely to die from heart disease. Yes, it's the number one killer, but they're more likely to have a high BMI. They're more likely to be overweight. They're more likely to be sick. They're stressing out. You're stressing out because you're trying to do too much too soon when you should just be making investments and staying debt free. I could not have started my business if I was in debt. There's no way I could have done that. When I was in my 20s, I was like, I might as well do this thing now. If I can do it for them, I can do it for me. I can do this thing, start this thing now. And everybody was saying no. Everybody was saying no. It's like, no. I said, but no. And that's when you had to pay for your own insurance. There was no Obamacare. And if you're not making a lot of money, then the premium is lower. It was based on your health. And I said, I'm healthy. Thank God. I'm young. The insurance is going to be inexpensive. Do it now. But if I had been young and not taking care of myself, and I remember the day I walked out of undergrad at University of Virginia and I had no money in my first job, I said, the first thing that I'm going to do is get myself healthy because I could not afford. And I got me a trainer immediately in my 20s. So when people wonder why I'm #1 in the US for the super weight throw for women in my age group, it's because of what I did in my 20s. I've been lifting since my 20s. Strength doesn't come today. So when somebody starts today trying to be as strong as me, they can't catch me. Right? You can't catch me. You have to start. You have to start. You can't. It's like compounding returns on your money. The earlier you start, Mr. Barton has what he has because he started early.
That's right.
Then when the kids come along, even if you don't even have to add no more, you just leave your money alone, you're going to be good.
Right. Yeah.
Be smiling like that because of discipline.
Yes.
It's true. We need that. Thank God for you because brothers need to see that. We need to have all of our members should be running into here and giving of yourselves generously for this next generation. We have to save us. I can't say enough to you all about the sense of responsibility that we need to develop as a people about our people. You can't catch me, Miss Davis. You can't even get in this video. You can't catch me. You ahead of me. You ahead of me with your little arm self. I ain't gonna talk about you because I know your shoulder's healing. But yes, we should be inspiring those young people.
Yeah.
I was at a track meet this weekend, this little girl, second year in college, and we're competing with each other. No. And I looked at her and I said, hey, I feel like you can do it so and so. She said, what? I said, yes. Her father looked at me like, this lady is inspiring my daughter. I said, you got that in you. She went up there and threw exactly what I said. Yes. These young people need us to believe in them.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I was older than her parents. But she needs to remember that. God had her meet me for a reason. So I tell her in her 20s, this is what you're going to be doing when you get my age. She's going to be doing it. I said, the next time your dad calls himself old, you tell him, you ain't as old as JB, Dad. Come on. No excuse.
It's true.
No excuse. Yeah, today is the first day. And you have to take your 20s. At every age, we have to take it. We have to tell these people in their 20s. And I remember years ago, I saw this video and Steve Harvey was talking about that. He was like, what you do in your 20s makes all the difference in the world. Like it really does. Tyler Perry was broke and he was working, living out the car. Steve Harvey was broke and he was living out his car. You know what I'm saying? I was broke, but I was struggling, but I was still lived my dream. All of us still lived our dream. But we're where we are today because of the discipline that we built in our 20s. We didn't give up.
Right.
We had every reason in the world to give up on our dream. And it doesn't have to be like so elaborate. It's your dream. Your dream is your big deal. Your dream, make it you're worthy. Your big deal. The best form of self-care is nurturing your dream. We always talk about everything else, like spa days and this and that. No, no, it's inside. It's inside out.
Mm-hmm.
I have never drank. I have never
Mm-hmm.
smoked. All those things make a difference. If I spent my 20s and 30s drinking and smoking, things would be different for me. Things would be different for me. Brain development. So I'm talking about key things for your 20s. Brain development. It says our frontal lobe that is responsible for planning and decision making is developing into our mid 20s. That means it started in our teens.
Mm-hmm.
Developing. So it is a critical time to hone in on our skills, which makes sense that I started doing what I do at that time. Right,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Williams? Like, it makes sense. I was excited. I could learn anything. I could pass any test. I was doing it. They would tell me, "Oh, you study for your test. You got the stockbroker's test tomorrow." I was in 9. Look at it. I'm busy. I'm trying to make money. I'm doing. I'm doing. I'm doing whatever. I already got my insurance license. So I had the insurance license. I was already selling insurance policies. I was doing. So they went and told my boss. She said she's not studying. So the boss calls me in. Word has it, you're not studying. I said, sir, I have a master's degree. If I can't pass a stockbroker's test, I'm in trouble. I said it just like that. I know he was like, that little arrogant black girl. I mean, literally, it's not a hard test. The hard part is making money on it. So I'm telling, like, so I go, I take the test. I think I missed one. Missed one. That's right. Missed one. I could tear a test up right now. Because look, a test, they give you the freaking answers. This is what you study for the test. How can somebody not pass a test? You know the answers. It's this, or this. But life ain't like that. So go ahead in your 20s and do that simple stuff. Get all those multiple choice out the way. Do it, because once you get out there, it ain't no multiple choice, is it, Miss Wilkerson? It ain't no real life. Making a living is not a multiple choice. There is no right or wrong answer. It's hustle.
That's right.
Do it. So learning is easier according to science in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Your 20s allow you, because you're in this growth stage, you got all these growth hormones going on. It allows you to acquire knowledge and build good habits that will serve you throughout your life. Powerful. So no wonder I still work out, because I started working out in my 20s.
Yep.
No matter, no wonder I still love my job, because I started doing this and loving this in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cheat. Don't let your kids cheat themselves. Don't let your kids cheat themselves. I remember in middle school telling my daughter's middle school principal, I said, my daughter does whatever you tell her you do. If you tell her this takes this, then she's going to do this. If you tell her it's this and this, she's going to do that. And that's the hard part, because if you're surrounded by people who aren't elevating and
Right.
challenging you, you know what I'm saying? At that point in your life, when you're young, it's cheating you.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at me, I was like, you're cheating her. I know what my kid can do, but she's going to do what you say. If you just say this and this, but I'm going to tell you, my child is going on to algebra because I did it at that age. She's doing it. So it ain't no. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no slowing down. Ain't no slowing so. No. This is what we do. Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm. I'm looking at him like, no, you going to get choked. This is what we're doing. And they would talk about me to my daughter behind my back. I'm sorry your mother loves you so much. Basically, that's what they're saying. Who cares? because now she's in her 20s and she's living her life to the fullest, maxing it out. She knows what I'm gonna say before she says it. She knows there ain't no option. There's nothing you cannot do. Whatever. The only limit is you. That's it. And we have to surround ourselves with people like that.
Yep.
I had this thing about I want to do my throws with the spin. And I said, one of the coaches that I work with, she might not like me trying to spin because she doesn't spin. But I got this man that I train with. If I say I want to spin, he gonna let me spin. You better stay around people who let you do everything that God puts in your head to do. I remember in my 20s, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my PhD. And I was with this man, and he said, why? You gonna make any more money? And I said, nah, I guess not. And he said, that's stupid. You shouldn't do that. So I didn't do it.
Mm.
Now here I am 30 years later, struggling
Mm.
to fit these classes in. One class left. All that could have been done before I was even 30. But I was surrounded by a person whom I wanted to impress. And I said, you're right. There's no reason to do that. I'll make the same. And I would make the same. But I would have been happy. And I would have had it. I'd be working on my second one if I wanted to. Yes, we're going to work on your 20-year-old son, understanding how important that, what he does currently matters. Yes. Little Mr. Williams, or Big Mr. Williams. He don't like me calling him Little Mr. Williams. Well, your son of Mr. and Mrs. Williams. You know, Miss Williams, I'm telling you, be careful who he's around. Be careful who whispers in his ear. No, because I thank God for my daughter's boyfriend, because he is a young Black man and he encourages her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so powerful.
Yes.
And she's on the dean's list now because he encourages her.
Wonderful.
Right? Exactly.
Wonderful.
If he had said, and that's what's really, he's more powerful than I am in her influence, I believe. When she showed me Dean's list, I said, okay, go ahead, Nehemiah. She started laughing. I said, yes. The brother is pushing her.
Mm-hmm.
You tell your son to be around women who are pushing him to the next level, like Mr. Barden's wife.
It's true.
I know for a fact my mother pushed my father to higher heights.
Mm-hmm.
In my mother's mind, in her heart, she knew her husband was capable of doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They met in college. He pulled that thing. He was the one who came from a poor family. My mom's family had more money. She married this man and she believed in him. And my dad ended up going all the way to get his PhD, one of the first Black men to get a PhD from New York University in higher education, and spent his career with HBCUs. But I know it is because my mom believed in him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't surrounded by a lot. His sister, who was the first to go to college, who helped him get through college, believed in him. Who we're surrounded by, right? I know for a fact Afro economics has kept me alive. Spiritually, mentally, physically, by developing God blessing me with this network and this team of highly motivated, professional Black people who want to move forward. And it gives me the opportunity to love and to get that out in the most positive way. What my natural instinct, I have always been that person, that helper, always wanted to help people. And for God to give me that, like, it's so important. Every longevity study that talks about like people living. It's that they have to have the right community around them
Yeah.
and they will live better and live longer. So don't joke on, and I'm telling you, everybody out there in your 20s, I'm telling you, if you're in a toxic relationship, as your female friends or your male friends or whatever, if they're toxic and they're not going and they're not where you want to be, change it. I beg you, change it. And you could be the toxic one. Change you so that you can help everyone else. Because like sometimes you could, be like you can have the biggest personality, the most potential, the most energized, but you are in a position to pull everybody up, but you're not. You're just wasting time. Look, let's just assume that that's us. Like, let's just assume that we're that person, that we're the one that can make life better for everyone else, right? Then do what is needed. Gain the information. Use your brain properly. Give yourself a challenge. Don't say that you can't because you can. Don't be around people who tell you that you can't. Right? Don't. So also the 20s offer you a freedom to explore who you are and who you want to become. And that might mean changing different your major. It might be changing jobs. It might be putting yourself, as I was saying about the WNBA and all of them, you're learning new skills. You're learning things like that guy, Dawn Staley. If she hadn't been in the WNBA, she would not be a coach now.
It's
She
true.
makes a lot more money as a coach than she made as a player.
Mm-hmm.
She could donate the money back that they gave her. But the opportunity, it ain't like she a big girl. Some of these girls are like 6'4", 6'5". Ain't they big girls now? Dawn, I don't know if she would make it today. The league has advanced. They're going over to Brazil, get great big 6'7". That girl like 6'8" from Brazil. Brought her over here when she's 15 years old. Some of the women that went through wouldn't be able to get in now. Wow, your son is 6'4". That is beautiful. Yeah. And his dad is a poor role model. That's right. Yes. Yes. He has heavily influenced his that. I hope his dad had a great dad. That's what she's saying. But the dad is not. And so, that just shows like we gotta want it. In so many ways, it's the grace of God. In so many ways, it's the grace of God, right? I mean, Mr. Barton's a great guy. His son is a great guy and very successful. But
Mm-hmm.
don't you feel like it's the grace of God, really? Because he still had to go out there into that world. He
Yeah,
still made choices.
that's true. Yeah.
Then you sometimes say, thank God he made a good choice.
Every day. Every day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just working on his mindset. Oh, that's so good that he has good women. That means that's a blessing. He's blessed. He's blessed. Mm. Oh, their nephew is 6'7" that listens to you. Oh, listen to me. That's so powerful. That's so powerful. Tall nephew, I hope you're doing great. But it's like, and sometimes your physical attributes, if we're not careful, can weaken us. And I was telling y'all one time about when I was in graduate school and they had an interview and the lady said, she said, why are you so aggressive? Like, why are you so determined? Why are you so focused? Why are you so? And I said, I think it's from growing up unattractive. And she was like, oh my God, you're not unattractive. You're not unattractive. Like, you're pretty. Like, and I was but I never looked at myself that way. I was never looked at like that, like at home. So I never thought looks would help me. And sometimes when you're good looking and you're tall and you're handsome, or you know what I mean, you're a sexy girl and this and that, like it can weaken you, even though God gave it to you as a strength. And I think that me not knowing that and not acknowledging it, because like I always thought like I had two sisters ahead of me that were beautiful. Like guys will come up to me and go, "Will you tell me your sister's name?" You know what I'm saying? Like that's just so I never thought like, you know what I mean? Looked at I never allowed looks to be a tool that I thought that was going to move me ahead in life. It was always mind, intelligence, work, ethic. Like, you know, when I was in McDonald's, there was not a job that they could give me in McDonald's to do that I wouldn't do. I'd clean the toilets, I'd clean the bathroom, I'd mop the floor. There was never anything I wouldn't do if that was my job. And it was like $3, what was it, like $3.35 an hour. What a bit like, you know, and I do every hour that I could because I bought all my back to school clothes. You know, my goal was I don't want to have to ask for nothing. So my mom was like, okay, you want to be Miss Independent? And they would stop buying me back to school clothes. You know, like I'm telling you, like if you and I think that some, you know what I mean, that sometimes like it's hard to measure that. It's really hard to measure that. You know, in some ways, I feel like, yeah, she was too hard on me. But I thank God for turning it into a strength for me. I don't know if I would have survived being in business if I hadn't been brought up that hard, because it's been hard. It's been hard. But I take it like nothing. Does that make sense, Miss Martin? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, it just rolls off me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like that. But yeah, but so you got to do it.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
one thing that I think that we lose is that at UPS, in order to get in their upper management, you had to work the front line. I mean,
Mm,
you didn't advance in that
mm,
company at their
mm.
upper echelon unless you had come through the ranks. So you understood what
Great,
that line person was going through, although now you're in, upper management. Now, I don't know if
great
they
point.
still subscribe to that policy, but
Great point.
I think that's the kind of thing where then, and also their salaries. I mean, now there's a much wider disparity, but back in the 70s, there wasn't a lot of disparity from the frontline person to the upper management people. So because they understood, we're all in this together and we survive together. And I know what you're
That's
going
right.
through
That's
because
right.
I worked that,
That's right.
you
That's
know.
right.
So we don't, and I
That's
think
right.
that's what we need
That's
to
right.
have, for lack of a better term, apprenticeship type
That's right.
activity,
That's
so
right.
that we learn the job before we want to jump to being
Right.
supervisor or manager. Learn the
Right.
job. So I think apprenticeship training is very, very important. Like you said,
That's right.
you understood. No one can tell you by working at
That's right.
McDonald's because you understood that you did
That's
what was
right.
asked of you at the
That's right.
level.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, when I was an undergrad at University of Virginia, they hired the one of the co-founders of UPS to teach a marketing class for us.
Mm.
And he said, he said, there's only one person really in this class, which I had no idea this man was gonna say that because I was the only black person in the class and he was this white guy. Just all and he said, there's only one person in this class who actually has a nice personality, who greets me every time she comes in, blah, 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 blah. And he was talking to me, and he was like, and that's Jennifer. He was like, because I'm gonna tell y'all in business, and he just because he explained, he was like, I never went to college. I never had these benefits that y'all have. And y'all just come in here and act like, you know what I'm saying? And just you basically said y'all are arrogant. And Of course, they're all in their 20s and most of them very wealthy, you know what I mean, and rich. And he was trying to say, like, that is not going to be the key to get you to UPS level. Your dad might be able to get you. He was tearing them up. They were having their own personal white conversation. It was like, but this old black girl over here, she gets it. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to say, like, she's not, but what? I didn't have no connects. They had connects. Most of them knew the test because of the people in their fraternity and sororities and stuff. They knew the test. They knew what was going to be on the test and this and that, but not on his class because he was an outside professor. You know what I'm saying? So there
Yeah.
was no test to be floating around.
Right.
But you don't realize, that your 20s, like a lot of it is going to come, and a lot of your success in life is going to come from your connections. And I remember, like, when I became a stockbroker, a lot of it was because I had developed a good relationship with the dean at my business school. And the dean at the business school had a good relationship with the guy that was my boss's boss. And I had no idea that the person that high up had gone to the business school at University of Virginia like me. Till I walked in his office for the interview and I said, "Oh my God, you went to com school," and then it turned from an interview to a conversation. And we just started talking. He was like, "Yeah," and we were talking about the dean, like both of us friendly relationship with the dean.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow had taken a high good. I think from working in the computer lab at school. Like I worked in the computer lab, and then working in the computer lab also helped me because one time the manager of the computer lab was a teacher in my systems class, and the systems was a group project, and nobody in the group, all white kids, none of them liked me. So he said that when they did the group analysis, all of them said I was horrible. And he said, if I did not know you personally and that you did not work for me, I would have to give you an F in my class because of what they said. Now, I haven't done anything, but this one particular guy, he hated me because I was double majoring in accounting and finance, and he decided that nobody should major in accounting and finance. And that's how he said, that's just no, nobody does that. Well, it's not like they gave me no special award or nothing for double majoring. You know what I mean? That was just sad. And he was on a vendetta. I think his name was Scott. I don't know. It was just really bad. And then I would try to stay away from groups with Scott. And then the teacher, I remember a teacher's lady said, "Well, so you just think that I'm just gonna, just make sure that you have a group that you want to be in." Like, I was born to be an entrepreneur. Thank God. Because I know y'all go through that stuff in corporate America. And there was absolutely no reason. But I'm going to tell you, God blessed me with working hard and knowing the right people. And that's always going to be vital. If we going to sit there and you in your 20s and you only talking to the people at the water cooler, but you ain't working hard and getting there early, like this morning, when I went to work out, I was there for 2 hours because I said, you know what, I'm doing an hour, but an hour's not good enough with my throws. So I went there an hour early. And I said, and you know what, from now on, when I meet with my coach, I'm going to get there an hour before my coach so that when my coach gets there, I'm asking questions, getting my money's worth.
Yep.
We got to look at that. You know what I'm saying? So when you going in, you 20s, you going into work, you first, not skidding around the corner. You want to be first.
Yep.
Yes, be a threat to the old one that thinks you might be taking their job. You know what I'm saying? But no,
Mm-hmm.
you going past that. You
Right.
going past that person. It's
Yeah.
not your job to make them feel more secure. It is your job to do a good job for the company, for your customers.
Right.
So the first decade of our careers is it has a significant impact on our lifetime earnings.
Mm-hmm.
The choices that you make during those 20s set the stage for our professional success. When I decided to be an investment advisor, contrary to our community, I was putting myself into in a position to make unlimited income. All our community is socialized to think is, what if he don't do well? And the white men hiring me were like, you know what you're doing, right? You know you can make more money than you ever thought in your whole freaking life, ever, ever, ever. That's the kind of stuff they would whisper to me. If you do this right and don't think about how much everybody hates you, you're gonna be all right. That's what white guy told me. He said, because if you do well, they're not gonna like you. And that's what happens too, because they start telling, well, she's doing better than you are. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes like a dagger. You got a target on your back. I got to do better. I got to do better than her because that girl's making me look bad. You got to not care about that. You got to do well. You have to stay focused. You have to position yourself correctly. I never told you, Mr. Barden, about when I was at UVA. I had a job at the Federal Executive Institute in Charlottesville, one of my 3 jobs. No car. I'm riding the city bus trying to get around. And this man said, if you come to the Fed when you graduate, I'll start you at a GS-10. I know, right? You know what that meant. Did you think I asked anybody? Do you think I asked anybody what a GS-10 meant? Coming out of college, do you think I said, no, I'm going to sell radio advertising. I'm telling you. That man looked at me like, she not even going to ask me? Like, da da da. I'm sure in radio I made more, but I think that I was wrong by not investigating properly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had my head on it. I don't know. Like that. I was thinking about that the other day because remember somebody was in here, Miss Wilkinson was talking about GS-12. I said, damn, this man offered me GS-10 at 21 years old. Oh my God. I know. I was like, he said, if you stay and you help me, because I was rolling, we were rolling. I was doing like a whole bunch of like, PowerPoint presentations and this and that. Like if like say somebody from the Pentagon, I didn't understand. I did not understand what I was doing. But say somebody from the Pentagon needed training. You know what I'm saying? They would bring them down to Charlottesville, this and that. And he would do these presentations, you know what I mean, and teach them whatever they needed to do. I was doing the presentation. I was making him look good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Had no idea. Harvard graphics. I don't know if you remember that. It was before PowerPoint. Remember that? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But talk to people. I guess the moral of that story would be to talk to people. Like, it worked out for me because I was trying to get myself into a point of getting sales experience. But you have to know, because like say the person, some people would have said, well, nah, I want to work for the government. Then they would have never got that GS-10 again. You know what I'm saying? It would have taken them years to get back to the GS-10. My first year out of college, I made $45,000. And that was a long time ago, y'all. That was 1989. 45,000 is good today. You know what I mean? Coming out of college. But that was hard commission work. I was hustling. But so probably then the GS-10 wasn't making that. You know what I'm saying? So I had this goal. But you got it. That was quite a chance. That was quite a risk, wasn't it? Like I was said that was quite a risk. I was like, no. So when you do this, like when we like, because that is something about being young, isn't it? Like we are very, very optimistic. Like you are very, very, there's nothing anyone could say. Like you got to be 100. You can't be halfway. Your faith has to be 100%. Like just when I started the business, it got hard as hell. I had to get through 2001. I had to get through, you know what I'm saying? Like, 9/11. And you know what I'm saying? I had to get through 2007, 2000, 2020, 2007, 08, all this, recession. Woo! You can't look back. You can't look back when you're a risk taker. So everything has its pros and cons. That's why I don't feel like anybody who knows they lived right and you've always done your best should live with any regret. With any regret. You made choices based on what you knew at that particular time. Amen. No regret, but you just better say what you believe, say your truth, speak your truth, live your truth, and be committed. Because that first decade has a significant impact on your lifetime earnings. Also, another point is the people that you're around. More than half of Americans that are in a relationship. So it says more than half of Americans are in a relationship with their future partner by the age of 30. Your 20s are a time to learn about healthy relationships, right? And make some smart choices. Did you know your wife by the time you were 30, Mr. Martin?
Of course.
Did you? That's so sweet. So that would be true, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
indeed. Yes, indeed.
yeah. Oh my goodness. That's so blessed. I don't know. Like, I don't know, Miss Wilkinson. Where's Mr. Johnson today? So the establish sound financial habits in your 20s. It is time. You get a job, you need to be talking to me about how to invest it into that 401k properly from day one. From day one. It has a significant impact on your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, what you do with your finances in your 20s. You gotta be careful. So, and then your 20s are an opportunity for you to get out of your comfort zone. Is your 20s are a perfect time for you to take calculated risk. Calculated risk. Embrace new ideas. Look for professional growth opportunities and personal growth opportunities, not just fun. If I can tell you anything, I can tell you, don't even focus on, he said, what about your 40s, right? Same thing applies in your 40s. You take these 20s and you do it over and over and over again. I I don't think, like, it is, in my opinion, I don't think that you should be thinking about work-life balance when you're in your 20s. No, that stuff comes later. I don't even think about it. And when you want to have your own business, I don't ever think about no work-life balance. My work is my life. Don't ever start a business doing anything that you don't love. If I forget something, I think about it in the middle of the freaking night. And I wake up and I get on it. Then I can't go back to sleep unless I do something about it. Got to make a note to self or something, set an alarm or something. Got to do something. But that's not a burden. Now, I remember one time being in a relationship and something happened, and I was talking to the client, and it was like 7 o'clock. And he said to me, um, you ain't gonna be able to do that. That didn't last long. He told me you ain't gonna be able to accept no phone calls at 7 o'clock. I'm like, I understand that, but it ain't gonna happen. It depends on who it is. And Mr. Barton called me at 7 o'clock. I'm picking up because it's Mr. Barton. He would not call me at 7 o'clock. So if he called me at 7 o'clock, it must be important. But if somebody else calls at 7 o'clock, it just depends. But so I can't commit that I'm not, since of course we got to be a team. You got to be a team. So it's like, that's what I was saying about Travis Hill, the football player. I think his name is, what's his name? Is his name I don't know. What is his name? That his name isn't Travis Hill. His name is that football player that married the girl. And everybody was talking about, why did he marry? It's not Tyreek Hill. I'm thinking Tyreek. The But the football player that played for Dion, he said he's not hot. Remember for Dion in Colorado? That's his name. But it's when you are
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. Okay, it is a Travis. So Travis Hunter, like I I know Travis Hunter married her because he knows how hard it is to do what we do. Like when you're an entrepreneur, it's like being when you're a professional athlete, you're an entrepreneur. Like that's you're all in. You're all in. There's no why you like Kobe Bryant used to talk about. Yeah, like Kobe Bryant used to say, I went in the gym at 4 o'clock. I went back to the gym after lunch. 4 a.m. was the first workout. Then he went back, you know what I mean, that night. Like that's how you gotta be. There's no 9 to 5 for me. Like, so when you're in your 20s, I believe everybody should be like that. I don't care if you work in McDonald's. I think you should be that person. You want to become manager, you want to be a owner of your own McDonald's location. You gonna have to be the one. You see stuff falling all out the dumpster into the parking lot. You that one. Get the stick. I'm getting the trash up out of the parking lot. Somebody's going to say, like, why you doing that? You off. Whatever. This my McDonald's. I see my name on that. When I start my restaurant, whatever. You got to have that attitude in your 20s so it becomes your way of life. 30s, 40s. That you don't let up. You don't let up. I still work as hard as I did in my 20s and proud of it. Smarter, smarter. But in my 20s, when I started my business, I got up, worked out, couple hours, same thing I do now. Same thing. Then work all day. Thing now, though, I sleep more. I used to go back to the gym at night, in the morning and the night. I be sleep now. I don't know about that. But I need my sleep. I would say I'm just smarter. It's not just because I'm older, it's just smarter. And I didn't get up. I get up earlier now. I get up at 4 a.m. I probably used to sleep till about 6 then. Travis Hunter is socially awkward. Don't you talk about him? Yes, 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 yes. So someone would say the same about me. Someone could possibly say the same about me. Like, oh, she's, because when we are very much into what we do, we could be seen as socially awkward to people that don't do it. Now, the people that play his game with him, to my clients, they don't think I'm socially awkward. But to someone else who doesn't have something that's such a big part of their life, they could say that. They could say that. But you're right. And Travis knows he is. He knows he's like that. That's why I'm single. You know what I'm saying? Because I deserve to have the partner that gets it. He has found, hopefully, a partner that gets it. This is what I do. I'm good at this. I want to work both sides of the field. Some people have a partner that say, why you gonna work both sides of the field? They ain't gonna pay you no more. All they gonna do is pay you. You gonna so. I can't have that kind of person in my life. You get that, Mr. Martin? You know what I'm saying? Like that. There are people like that. Like, don't do it. He didn't do it. I bet that girl lets him go out there and do what he doing. But what she better do is not get on his nerves, not cause him any stress.
Right.
The man should not be worried. His baby shouldn't come out looking clear. His baby should be black. Look, his baby better come out socially awkward, just like him. We should have no problems. Life is good. That's what he deserves. That's what we want. That's what you build in your 20s by getting someone who you believe in. She believes in you. She doesn't hold you back. He doesn't hold you back. He gets it that you're socially awkward. You're whatever. You like to talk to people, this and that. Like, I've dated people who don't say, will say, you know what, when we go in here, don't talk to anybody. We're just going to do this and go out, go in and come out. Like, that's hard for me. I'm a very polite person. You're asking me to not be myself. You have to be careful with that in your 20s. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying. They don't like when you work on weekends, but your job requires weekends. You're with the wrong person. They don't want to be there. They have zero interest in school, but you want to go back to school. You want to finish school. You with the wrong person. I mean, that's dangerous. Just know that it's dangerous. Because typically what happens if you want to go to school, but you're with someone who doesn't have any interest in school, you end up generally stopping school. Fight. Fight for it. That doesn't mean it always happens because it was there's many people that their partners support them through, push them through. It's a lot of sacrifices that are required. Like my father, he went on and on and on to school, and they have 4 kids. But my mother was there every night. He didn't have to worry about my mom when he went to New York University. We were home in the house. But we lived in Delaware, and he had to take the train home every weekend. You know what I'm saying? But they were young then. Those young years, they matter. You got to pick the right person. Take it seriously. Embracing change. Know that things are going to change over time. But just be careful. Think through everything. You cannot overthink. If anybody ever tells you you think too much, you're talking to the wrong person. You need to be thinking. Don't ever do anything without thinking. Personal, professional development, build positive, strong relationships, make wise choices. These are the things that will set you up for a positive trajectory in your life. Learning, growth, achievement. You see that conversation going on, Mr. Barden, with Miss Wilkerson and Mr. Don Wolf. Y'all need to focus. I will reach out. Uh-oh. Look, you see that? She said she gonna reach out to me to get his info. I love it. These are grown folk, y'all. These young folk, y'all see these grown folk. These people grown, making a connection on my live stream. Look, but she knows what she knows that this person is in the right network. She knows that that man is looking at the right thing, studying his money. And she look, so she's taking a pretty good risk. What do you think, Mr. Parr? she's taking Miss Wilkerson is taking a managed risk. She's impressed because he knew Travis Hunter. But I appreciate you. I thank you, Mr. Barton. Miss Wilkerson, Lone Wolf didn't have the guts to come up in here though. Mr. Barton gave me the positive feedback that I needed, and I appreciate him. Let's make sure we thank him. We appreciate you. Thank you for being so generous with your time.
Oh, thank you. I enjoy being in this network. So
Oh,
I'm
that's so
appreciative of that.
awesome.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. I need you, and I appreciate your support, your insight, your intellect, your experiences, and you share them. We got it, y'all. I can't say it enough. We got to give more back to these kids. Yeah. We have to. That they need us. They might not even know they need us, but they hear what we're saying.
True.
Amen. Y'all have a great day. I will see you all Friday. I'm glad the text is working. You get the text? You get the text?
Yes.
They said they had a bug in the system. It must have been a roach. Yes, indeed. Y'all be blessed. Take care.
All
See
right.
y'all soon. Bye-bye.
All right.
Hmm. I'm gonna play something. Let's see if I can. Okay, here it is. As we go out. I'm JB Bryan, the creator of Afroeconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. Afroeconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out Afroeconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly Afroeconomics podcast. There are many levels of Afroeconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out afroeconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. Hashtag Afroeconomics. Have a good one.